what's up, Thrashers? How you doing? Today's video is a continuation on my The State of Modern Thrash video. Man, I'm not happy about having to make stuff like this. Well, I don't have to, but I feel like it's important to. It's an important conversation to be had, what I want to talk about here. And this is particularly going over what's up with Gama Bomb and what their problems are right now. Before I start, I just want to say quickly, go to my posts on my channel and go to that poll there to vote on what the next video is going to be. It's going to be like a lick technique thing or an actual other lesson. I'm not 100% sure what the next song for the other lesson is going to be, but I said I'd do a Warbringer tune. Don't know. I think I will. Probably. Anyways, so what's up with Gama Bomb? Well, they suck. Not really, but they're not doing too great, man. They're kind of, I don't know. They're just not doing what I think they ought to do, and that's very, very typical of a fan of a thing, anything, just to be like, you know, you guys are fake and you're sold out and blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm talking about. I think they've lost their actual musical identity, sort of. They're kind of struggling right now. And I can't tell, I don't know whose fault it is. Maybe it's mine. Maybe I gotta grow up and learn how to listen to stuff that sounds lame. But I'm gonna go over why I think that is, using my instrument to demonstrate some things. And hopefully you'll understand where I'm coming from and this idea will become more apparent. So first, let's answer the biggest question of them all. Who is Gama Bomb and what are they? What does Gama Bomb mean? What sounds like Gama Bomb? Well, really fast, higher pitched, awesome thrash metal is what Gama Bomb is, and it's very, very, very not super distinct. Their style is kind of just taking thrash riffs and just injecting them with pure cocaine, but it's perfect in the way it is. It's amazing. I think that the riffs that they came up with for most of their early stuff, not early, I don't love their first two albums, but most of the stuff after that, like anything on Untouchable Glory, Speed Between the Lines, you know, it's all great. So let me give you some examples of riffs. If you click on this video, you probably already know, but just quickly to set the groundwork. I did a lesson on the song Avenge Me. It's kind of based in D, and it has this really cool, what is it? It's there. That's Gama Bomb to me. A bunch of tremolo, a lot of hammer-on pull-off things, very fast-moving chords, and they switch for this riff for that idea. And that gives insight into their other style, which is kind of like a slow-ish, like slightly slower, but very slight, and more melodic, based around gypsy minor. So they switch the riff from like a D-based thing to like a D Phrygian kind of idea to a G gypsy minor thing for the chorus or whatever. And that's cool. And that's kind of their sound to me. Either like a blues-based kind of thing with like, you know, Dorian and regular minor with a bunch of power chords and a bunch of tremolo, or gypsy minor or Phrygian dominant. Those are kind of the main things for any band, really, but Gama Bomb in particular, they do this stuff really well. And also just weird licks that are kind of just integral to the riff. Here's another example, Drinker's Ink. The opening, this riff. What the fuck was that? That thing. That's a really weird lick. That's really weird. But it's awesome. Because then they do it, and then they do it chromatically, and then like that. So cool. And they don't do punchy stuff like that too much. And the riff after that one in that song is also a good example of ultra speed thrash metal that they do. The main riff, It's so sick. It's so sick. It's so good. I love it. And it sucks that they're not doing stuff like that too much anymore. So when did they start to fall off, in my opinion? I think it started with, was the album called Sea Savage? I don't remember. There's like 5, 6 good songs on that album out of like the 12 or something, or yeah, something like that, maybe 7, that are like really good to me and I could, work on. But then Bats came out. Dude, I fucking hate Bats, man. There's only 2 good songs on there, in my opinion. What is it? Living Dead in L.A. and Don't Cut Your Hair, Don't Get Your Hair Cut, or whatever. Those ones are fine. They kind of still have that DNA of Gama Bomb in them, but the rest of them, too slow, too weird. Here's an example. Stabilize. That main riff, dude, it's too slow to me, and it's just, man, I don't know. Listen, like it's I think it's something like that, flirting with like chromaticism, and then F. It's just F gypsy minor again, but it's too slow. And then the main riff after that, that's like the intro, and the main riff. This sounds like some shit I would hear in like a Halloween cartoon for kids. Like this is like, if there was some TV show about like Frankenstein or Dracula or whatever, like animated show for kids, like, and they wanted some ambient music for the silly shenanigans, it would sound something like this. It's corny. That's not what I came here for, man. It's not what I want out of Gama Bomb or thrash metal. Speed it up, make it weird, make it cool. I can coolify this riff kinda. That beginning one, you gotta have way more chromaticism and way more tremolo. Like something like that. And then you go into the main one. And you might do some like major third things or fourths or something, some cool. Do like a hammer-on pull-off thing for some more speed. Some shit like that. That's totally Gama Bomb. It's just if somebody took Gama Bomb and injected it with Thorazine and made it shuffle around a hallway. It's like lame. It's slow. It needs to be faster and heavier and cooler. That's what we want. And I was depressed when Bats came out. I'm not even going to lie. Like, clinically. No, not really. But, man, it bummered me out for like a day. Because I was looking forward to this release. Speed Funeral was like, okay. And I was like, hey, maybe that's their weakest song. Maybe it's only going to get better from there. No. It was bad. And now Necronomicon Automaton. Same deal. I was excited to listen to it because I thought they might come back and get to their senses. They haven't, man. They really haven't. Nothing has changed. A lot of the stuff, when they do tremolo, which is awesome, sometimes, during the chorus, though, they will slow down and stop even, like, picking. Like, they'll have moments during chorus riffs where they'll have, like that. You're not going to throw in some chugs, even? The same band that wrote this, like, riff... you only do those stops for, like, pauses for suspense or something, or, like, for a beat, for the drum, for the snare. What's this with the chorus being, like... something like that. What the fuck, man? Or I think there's one riff where it's, like, something like that. And it's this tempo. Too fucking slow, guys. Pick up the pace. you know, or even their slower songs that they used to have were catchy. Like that's sort of a riff on one of the songs off Necronomicon Automaton. I can't exactly tell, but it sounds kind of like that other song. Oh, was it Tuck Your T-Shirt In? No, I don't remember. Um, that one had like a swing to it, and it still had. That type of riff. I forget. You probably know what song that is, but dude, probably on Speed Between the Lines. I think maybe. No, it might have been Untouchables. It might have been, you know, Tuck Your T-Shirt In, whatever. But that song, that was an outlier riff. That was an outlier. That was during like the verse or whatever, and they sometimes like cut the instruments. But then the other main riffs are like ultra fast and punchy. Excuse me. Man, I'm allergic to shitty riffs and thinking about bad bands going bad when they were good. I'm allergic to it. Fuck, dude. Like, they used to be so bitchin'. Even their slow stuff was cool. I really think you could see the writing on the wall based on the vocalist's performances, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. His high vocals are usually tolerable to me. I enjoy them. But there are some times where he'll have his high vocals where he'll add, like, some grit to it. Some, like, no, I can't even do it. But it'll go, like, in the back of the throat with some, like, scrunchiness. It started happening, I think, on Stay Rotten. You can hear it on some of that on Speed Between the Lines, and you can also hear it on Sea Savage, and a lot on Bats, and then even more on Necronomicon Automaton. Some of those songs, and I don't like that. The vocalists don't do that, dude. Stop it. Nobody. I'm not gonna say nobody likes it, but dude, I can't handle it. And listen, I love Megadeth and Dave Mustaine's vocals. And that means my ears aren't good for vocals. I can kind of tolerate anything vocally. And if I can't stand your vocals, that says a lot because I tolerate Dave. That means something when it's coming from somebody like me, dude. Stop it. I don't know what this is. This isn't like an open letter to them, I guess. But I hope one of them sees it, maybe. I don't know. I doubt it. But man, and even, you know what sucks too? Even their Spotify, their description for when they were going to release Sea Savage, they were all hyped, and there was like this big long paragraph about what they've been through, what they've done. Now it's just OG thrash from Ireland since 2006 or 8 or something. They've lost the plot and the soul, and they don't care anymore, I don't think. Which sucks, because listen, this is probably the most jarring part of the video, and I think it's probably the most important. The OG bands from the 80s, mid-80s, right? How much time has passed? Think about the start of thrash. 83, 85, starts in 83, first proper release, 84, 85. Let's just say 85, right? 1985? Okay. 1995, that's 10 years. 2005, 20 years. 2015, 30 years. 2025, where we are now, 40 years. The dudes we are listening to that are OG, been 40 years. They're in their 60s now. Some of them maybe even 70s. We're fucked. They're going to die. And guess what we're going to have left? The revival bands that came out 20 years after the 80s, in the early 2000s, 2004, Municipal Waste, and then so on. And those dudes are going to be old in the next 20 years. So what are the kids in 20 years going to have to look forward to? There's 2 bands I see that are getting attention for newer wave thrash bands in America. And I'm going to talk about them in another video. But for now, I'm talking about one of the OGs from the revival movement, not the older 80s guys, but the revival stuff. Gama Bomb. They're important. They're one of the pillars of the thrash revival movement, in my opinion. They're very accessible. They're kind of like, if I were to compare them, they're like Anthrax, but not as cheesy, because the vocals on these guys are a little more clean than the other bands. So it's a little more accessible to the average person, and it acts as a good gateway for people to go into thrash metal. But if they start making songs that aren't as fast and technical and pushing the limit, the young kids aren't looking forward to any releases from them anymore, probably, if they get a track record of releasing shit. They probably have 2 or 3 more albums in them. And then that's probably it, dude. So you have to think, are they going to peter out and just, like, nosedive? Are they going to go out with a last hurrah, or are they actually fucking trying? I hope so. But I don't have too much like confidence in that with how things have been going with Bats and this new EP, Necronomicon Automaton, because they're losing it. They're really losing the plot. I'm going to redo this video in a couple months' time, probably, and I'm going to properly learn like a couple of songs from each of their records and compare them and have visuals. I'm going to actually like do a neat, proper video, but for right now, within the means of what's going on right now and in my life, I can't do that. So this is the best I got to talk about and give you, but think about this shit. Listen to their band and listen to the discography and listen to it get better and then worse. It sucks, and I hate to have to talk about this because I loved these guys for the longest time, and now they're kind of like falling off. It sucks. It really sucks. So I don't have too much else to say. I'm getting a little too riled up. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, tell me what you thought about what was going on, and listen to metal, play metal, be metal. Here's a pick. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.